Most people think saying no is about courage. But in reality, it's about architecture, how you design the space between you and others. When that space is too wide, you seem cold, too close, and you feel suffocated. The real skill is building a boundary that protects you, while still leaving the door open for respect and connection. In this video, we're not just talking about rejecting requests. We're exploring a psychological framework rooted in interpersonal communication research that helps you set limits without triggering defensiveness. Whether it's a colleague who keeps pushing after hours, a friend who blurs the line, or a family member who oversteps, these principles will give you the language and presence to say no and still be seen as someone worth listening to. Most boundary problems don't start with the boundary itself. They start with the psychology around it. We're wired for connection. Our nervous system constantly scans for cues of safety or threat in others. When someone hears no, the primitive part of their brain can interpret it as rejection, even if the rational mind knows better. That's why blunt refusals often trigger defensiveness, arguments, or even retaliation. This is where the subtlety comes in. A well-crafted boundary doesn't feel like a wall. It feels like a traffic signal. Clear, visible, and predictable. It tells people what the limits are, but also how they can engage with you without crossing them. This keeps relationships functional while still protecting your time, energy, and emotional well-being. Research in communication psychology, particularly on face-saving theory, shows that people are more receptive to limits when their sense of dignity remains intact. In other words, the how matters as much as the what. You could say, I can't meet today, in a way that shuts the other person down, or in a way that makes them feel acknowledged, even respected, despite the refusal. Another key factor is specificity. Vague boundaries, don't bother me at night, invite negotiation or testing. Specific boundaries, I don't take work calls after 7 p.m., but I'll reply first thing in the morning. Set clear expectations and reduce friction. Specificity also helps you hold yourself accountable, which is crucial. If your boundaries are flexible to the point of inconsistency, people will learn they're negotiable. Finally, consequences need to be natural rather than punitive. A punitive consequence feels like punishment, which can escalate conflict. A natural consequence simply shifts the interaction to a safer space for you. For example, if this conversation gets heated, I'll suggest we take a break and revisit it tomorrow. You're not punishing the other person. You're managing the conditions for a productive dialogue. The beauty of this approach is that it works across contexts, whether you're navigating office politics, dealing with a pushy friend, or protecting your personal time from family demands. By blending empathy, clarity, and follow-through, you create boundaries that aren't just lines in the sand. They're bridges that still connect, but with gates you control. Example 1, the workplace after-hours message. It's 9:45 p.m., and your phone buzzes with a message from your manager. Can you send me that report tonight? A blunt, no, I'm off work, might sound uncooperative. Instead, I saw your message. I don't check work emails after 7 p.m., but I'll have that report in your inbox by 8 a.m. Here, you've reinforced the boundary, offered a clear alternative, and maintained professional goodwill. Example 2, the family overshare. A relative keeps commenting on your personal life at every family gathering, your relationships, your weight, your career choices. Snapping back will only feed the cycle. Try. I know you care about me, and I appreciate that, but I'm not comfortable discussing my personal life at family dinners. Let's talk about your trip instead. I've been wanting to hear about it. This response validates their intent, shifts the topic, and reinforces a limit without creating open conflict. Example 3, the relationship privacy check. Your partner asks to go through your phone just to be sure. A defensive, why don't you trust me, can quickly escalate. Instead, I understand you're feeling uneasy. My messages are private, just like yours are. I'd rather we talk about what's making you feel this way so we can solve it together. Here, the boundary is firm. Privacy is non-negotiable, but the door is open for dialogue about the underlying emotion. Why these work? In all three scenarios, the boundary is specific, clear behavior and context, empathetic, acknowledges the other person's needs or feelings, and paired with a safe alternative, offers a way to stay connected without crossing the line. This combination lowers defensiveness and increases the likelihood that your boundary will be respected over time. Life philosophy takeaway. Boundaries aren't just about keeping people out. They're about letting the right connections in on terms that preserve your dignity and well-being. Think of them as the architecture of your personal space. Walls strong enough to protect you, yet doors wide enough to welcome trust, respect, and genuine care. The more consistently you honor your own limits, the more you teach others how to treat you. Not through confrontation, but through example. And perhaps the most profound truth? Every no you say to something that drains you is a silent yes to the life you actually want. If this video gave you something to think about, or even a phrase you're going to try this week, hit that like button. I'd love to hear your own boundary wins and challenges in the comments below. Your story might help someone else who's struggling with the same thing. And if you haven't yet, subscribe so you won't miss the next video, where we'll explore how to spot and disarm one of the most manipulative conversation tactics ever used. Thank you for spending your time here with me today. Your attention is valuable, and I hope this felt like time invested in yourself, not just time spent. Until next time, take care of your boundaries, and they will take care of you.